everyone! What a nice, lovely afternoon we have, and welcome if you're joining me for the first time. Today we're going to be looking at the dreaded blank question. It's usually the reaction that you get in the classroom when you say that. So I'm going to take you through it step by step, and by the end of it you'll know exactly what to do. Today's word of the day, as we always start with, to try and expand one's vocabulary, is subterfuge. Ooh, fancy! So, what is subterfuge? It is deceit used in order to achieve your goal. So, example, he had to use subterfuge and bluff during the poker game. You know, the poker face. Carry back, oh, you can read my poker face. That sort of thing. Today's spelling word, accommodate. Double C, double M. One of those tricky words that we can never remember. And you know how I like the cheese. So pun of the day, my girlfriend changed after she became a vegetarian. It's like I've never seen her before. Her before? Vegetarian? Okay. Right, so facts about the link question. It's an understanding question, even though you've got to quote, but we'll go over that later. It's only worth 2 marks, but every mark counts. Just remember, if you got that brown envelope plop on your mat, open it and it says 48%, darn it, you would have passed if you'd done this. So it's important to get those 2 marks if you can, and I'll show you how. Unfortunately, this is the one that most kids do the worst on in the exam, or they miss it out, but you don't need to, because it's easy peasy when you know how. How does it work? So the SQA will tell you what line to look at, right? So it will say something like, look at line 12 and tell me, how does it act as a link? It may say something like, what is the function of this sentence? So if it says that, that just means the same. Hi, I'm the link. So what is a link? Well, think about it visually, because a lot of people like to learn by having a picture in their head. So a link in terms of a chain or a necklace is obviously made up of different parts, different circles, if you like. So if you think of it like this, then I'm like a weather girly. Paragraph 1 is one idea, and then you've got the link sentence. So this is at the start of the next paragraph. So the link sentence is basically the topic sentence of paragraph 2. So that's why these are the same colour, right? And then obviously in paragraph 2, it's talking about a different idea. So paragraph 1 and paragraph 2 are something slightly different. The link is basically joining those 2 together. So without that, that's it collapsing. Or I also like to describe it or picture it as 2 separate islands, and then you've got the link sentence, which is the little bridge between the 2. So that's sort of, you've got one over here, one over here, and there's nothing connecting them. So if you didn't have a link, then it would be like, I'm going to talk to you here about X, and I'm going to talk to you here about Y, but they're all very, very similar structure, but there's no flow. So that's why we need that little bridge. So you have linking words like additionally, however, you know, these sorts of things that you'll be used to, but it's a little bit more than that. It's like a sentence that connects the 2. So think about it in your own pieces of writing. Your teachers maybe said to you, I want your essay to flow, or your story needs to flow a bit better. So that's really what the job of a link sentence is. It's to stop that, here's paragraph 1, here's paragraph 2. It's to start so that each paragraph blends into the other and they've got something in common. So it's just basically the word link. Think about what it means. It's connecting one idea to the next. So there'll be a slightly different topic. Okay? So as I said, the SQA will direct you to where that is. Or it'll say what's the function of line 20, and then you go ta-ting, especially if it's worth 2 marks, because you'll know that that's the link then. So why do so many kids fail to do it? Well, I think from marking for over the years, many years, I think the reason is that when you're told to read line 20, you read line 20 and then you start reading line 21, 22, blah, blah, blah. However, with this question, you have to read the link, then the paragraph before it, right? So it's not natural to do that. So that's my first big tip for you, is read the link, then you must read that paragraph before. Facing two paragraphs can look quite daunting, especially if you're maybe doing higher or Nat 5 where the paragraphs are quite big. So don't do it all at once. That's where you start to get a bit confused. So my advice is little baby steps. Oh, oh, oh. So read the link, read the paragraph before the link, then do that connection. Right? So it's just splitting it so it's not quite as daunting. So then try and work out that link. Then, once you've worked it out, you're left with half a link sentence, you know, the remaining half, then that would obviously connect to the next paragraph. So it's just little baby steps will help. So my step-by-step guide for you. So number 1, read the link sentence, where the SQA will tell you to read. Then, read the paragraph before that link. What you're trying to do is, read the paragraph, ask yourself, what was that about? What was the main thing in there? What were they trying to say? Have that in your mind. Then look at the link again, and then hopefully you'll go, there it is. That's the connection between the two. Then score that off, read the rest of the link, and then read the next paragraph, or the one that starts, and try and make the connection forwards. Okay, so just treat it in baby steps. So we're going to do an example so that you can understand what I'm trying to say, because it's hard to explain without seeing one. So I've written this paragraph randomly about smoking. So smoking cigarettes can do serious damage to your body. Tar contained in cigarettes sticks to the inside of your lungs. The combination of tar and nicotine contribute to several serious diseases such as emphysema, mouth, throat and lung cancers, severe bronchitis and heart disease. Diseases all linked to smoking. Alright, so that's the paragraph up here, paragraph 1. So, paragraph 2 starts with this, which is the link sentence. As well as the physical damage to our health, smoking puts a huge financial strain on the health service. So how do we deal with it? So firstly, like I said, ask yourself, what was that paragraph all about? What was it? So in this case, the paragraph was all about the physical harm that smoking does, how bad it is for our health. So then you look at the link, and then you think, right, what words in that connects back to physical harm? So obviously here's the link again. So it starts with, as well as the physical damage to our health. So there you can stop, because that is what that paragraph was about. So then you quote that. So the bit underlined is what you would quote if that was the answer. So you would say, physical damage to our health links back because. Okay? Now the reason why it's a you, and as you should hopefully know, understanding questions you must use your own words, but in this case, we're doing this. Why? I hear you ask. Well, the reason it's a you is because this is where you have to put what that paragraph was about in your own words and sum it up. So you would write, physical damage to our health links back, you must say the direction, to the previous paragraph which describes, and this is where you have to sum that up in your own words, that's why it's a you. So you could say, smoking can cause a variety of major illnesses, and that's what the paragraph goes on, that's what the paragraph describes. So that's it. You're summing it up in your own words, connecting to those words from the link sentence. Then, you've used that, so then to make it even easier for yourself, score that out. Score it out of the link sentence, and you're left with half a sentence. So we're left with, smoking puts a huge financial strain on the health service. So at this point, I often say to kids, can you guess what the paragraph is then going on to talk about? Can you? So it goes on to say, smoking puts a huge financial strain, there's a wee clue, on the health service. So it's just to make it even easier for yourself. So, for an example, here's a wee paragraph I have made earlier. So after the link it goes on to say, treating diseases caused by smoking costs the NHS in England roughly £2 billion a year. This cost includes GP consultations, hospital admissions, prescriptions and operations associated with smoking related illnesses. Alright, so hopefully you're starting to make the connection. Ask yourself again, it's the same step as before, but you're going forward. What is the main idea in this? So obviously in this case it's all about the huge costs involved in the NHS, and then you're trying to find the words in the link sentence that connect to that. So what was it? As I said, huge financial strain. They're the words that connect to what this paragraph's going to go on to talk about. So that's the connection. So this is how you would lay out this part of the answer. Huge financial strain. So we're quoting from the link. Links forward to this paragraph which describes how, and again this is where you've got to sum it up in your own words. So what financial strain? Smoking is extremely expensive for the health service in terms of treating people with smoking related illnesses. So you're trying to change it as much as you can in your own words. You're just summing it up. So that's the complete answer. So if you're laying it out like this, I'll just look at my arm again, see where I'm pointing. So if you're doing higher English, you get 1 mark for this and 1 mark for this. Right? You have to do both to get the marks. If you're doing that 5, then you would get a mark after the word back, if it's the right quote obviously, and then a mark here after the word illnesses where you've summarised it. And again, say you got that wrong or there's a bit of it wrong, that's why you should always do both sides, back and forward. Don't be lazy and just do one and say, I think I've got it. Blah, move on. Don't do that, because you might have got the quote wrong, you might have summed it up wrong. So just do both, because you've got to get practice for doing higher anyway, so you might as well have a shot. And as a marker, so many times over the years, a kid would get a tick and a mark at the word, links back, tick, and then they've got this bit wrong, and then obviously I look at the next bit of the answer to pick up the second mark, and there's so many times that's happened. So that's why I would always say, make sure that you do both directions, and you've got to say where the direction is. So that's just a quick summary there of what you've got to do. So basically quote the word. It's more likely to be a phrase, which is 2 or 3 words from the link, which has a connection to the paragraph before it. Remember just to read that one only to start with. Then sum it up in your own words. So links back because the paragraph describes blah 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 blah, own words. And then the same forwards. Links forward because the paragraph goes on to describe, and then you're summing it up in your own words. So 2 top tips that I've maybe mentioned already. You must tell the SQA, which direction you're going in. So if you just write sums up, you won't get the mark. You've got to say links back, links forward. Any of you who are my fans and have seen my close reading rap, if you haven't seen it, I would recommend it. I say, what's linking questions? Oh, I've forgotten what it is now, it came into my head. What do you have to do for the link? Go forwards and back. If you do this, you'll be right on track. Sorry. And then, as I said, although you'll get 2 marks at Nat 5 for getting one of those directions right with the correct quote and summary, just do both anyway, because there's a lot of kids miss out marks for not getting something quite right. And you need to do both for higher anyway. And that's how to do a link. So hopefully it makes sense. I will be uploading some link questions for you to have a wee practice of. I'll be putting that on the Aim Higher Facebook page so you can get access to that. If you're not on Facebook, I have got an account on Google Classrooms that I'll show you just now. Tomorrow's lesson we've had a look at topics for a persuasive or discursive essay, what to pick, what not to pick. We've then done another lesson on how to plan it. So now we're going to start writing this bad boy. So tomorrow's lesson is going to be how do I write a good introduction to a persuasive or discursive essay. And then on Friday I'm going to show you how to lay out the main body and sort of a sort of structure that you should follow for that too. Because I know a lot of you will be asked, if you aren't already, to start doing your persuasive essays for your folio. And if you haven't, it's great to start thinking about that now while you've got the time. because there's only so many hours in the day you can break your thumbs on the Xbox. Alright, so if you haven't already, please join the Aim Higher Facebook page and subscribe to my Aim Higher YouTube channel as well. I will be uploading, there's lots of resources on there already, but I'm going to put some stuff on today about not just this PowerPoint, but actually some link practice for you to do. And if you're not on Facebook, here are the classroom links. Alright, so if you're watching in the morning, so this morning's lesson was common and proper nouns. Do you know what they are? Then you could join me at 10:30 on the morning every day. That's the link to that classroom. And if you're, these are if you're not on Facebook, and if you want to do the senior classroom, there's the link there. I'm doing these for free just to try and keep you all doing some work at home that isn't being given at the school. I know you've got plenty to do, but if you wanted to do some extra, a wee bit of revision, if you want to send me a couple of quid to say thank you, then there's my PayPal address. And apart from that, I shall see you tomorrow. Have a fab day. Thanks for tuning in. Bye. Alexa, play.